Well, you gotta give credit to Marvel Studios. What they have been doing is working. What they have planned and what they are just initiating right now when it comes to their plan for not only Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, but also for the future of the MCU afterwards, which does include the mutants, it's all working right now. And that is made pretty apparent by the video that they posted. Thank you for over 1 billion views. 1 billion views for Avengers Doomsday teasers, teaser stories, as the Russo brothers call them. Over 1 billion views for 4 of them. Ones that have been leaked online already as well, which they're not counting, of course, the views on the leaked ones. But these 4 teasers that don't even show Doctor Doom got over 1 billion views. And according to the Hollywood Reporter, they got a little over 1.2 billion views, at least during the time, a couple days ago that they wrote this article. And this article actually came out before the Russo brothers and Marvel dropped their video. So what Marvel Studios is doing is clearly working. Numbers don't lie. They've got people's attention. They're building the hype back up, and their overall plan, I think, is actually pretty genius because they're not just focusing on Doomsday and Secret Wars right now. They've already begun with other MCU projects to set up the future of the MCU, which I think what they're doing so far is just brilliant. I think it's brilliant. It really is tying into a few stories that they plan to continue on and then some stories that they plan to really begin. But I love that Marvel is not waiting for Secret Wars to start some of these stories. That way, when we go into the new MCU, the reset MCU after Secret Wars, there still is continuity to it. Now, I know some people would kind of rather the MCU just start from scratch, but I actually do think it's kind of important to have some of the characters go on to the new universe and keep some continuity with the old universe. I don't ever want to totally erase what has already happened because it's amazing. And what Secret Wars is doing, Doomsday and Secret Wars, is bringing together just the entire history of Marvel Studios, which we've talked about before and which I really, really love. But here's what Marvel Studios is doing. And this comes down to marketing, but also creative decisions and storytelling that they're doing already in their shows. Now, the first part is the marketing of it. They're marketing Doomsday in a way that I don't think many of us have seen before, right? The new, hey, we're releasing the trailer in theaters. We're going to allow it to leak online, and then we're going to release it online 5 days later. That's pretty crazy. And they're not even really calling these teasers or trailers. Sorry, these are teaser stories. And then the Russo brothers go online after and say, hey, we're hinting at some stuff. Look harder. There's stuff out there. And basically what they're doing is relying on everybody to do just a ton of research into what is happening and then talk about it online, like I've done, like many other great channels have done as well. And it's just producing this hype, which is exactly what they want. They want everybody to be talking about this. So that alone is genius, but they're building up Doomsday to be just something big. And the story and the plan for that alone is actually pretty crazy as well. A lot of people think that this is kind of some random gimmick that the Russo brothers came up with or Marvel came up with. Let's bring back Steve Rogers. Let's bring back Robert Downey Jr. Let's capture this nostalgia. And sure, a part of it you could say is a gimmick, but what a lot of people don't understand is that the Russo brothers have been thinking about this for so long. During interviews for Avengers Endgame, the Russo brothers said they were done. But then people started asking what would bring you back, and they said every single time, Secret Wars. They have known what they've wanted to do for Doomsday and Secret Wars for a pretty long time. Now, they had to adjust to the KANGS storyline and basically what they've done after Endgame and kind of come up with just a different story, different version of the story they wanted to tell. But it ultimately worked out because the Russo brothers said that it just clicked for them. And that plan, according to the Russos, always involved Steve Rogers, Captain America. They recently came out and they said that he means so much to them. According to them, this was Anthony Russo who said that Steve Rogers has a central role in the Avengers and the overall MCU story. He described Steve Rogers' importance to the MCU storyline as deeply personal to him and Joe. So this isn't just a gimmick. They have a really great story planned for Steve Rogers. The same thing goes for Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom and Thor as well. It does seem like those big three are going to play a very big role in the movie. But this is also about a new beginning And this is coming from the Russos themselves. Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be a new beginning. Why? Well, because that's really what Secret Wars is kind of about in the comics. Every universe gets destroyed until there's just Battleworld left. And then after, Reed and Franklin, the Future Foundation, they start to rebuild the multiverse. And big changes are made after. That's what's coming from Marvel. And Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel, has confirmed this. The MCU is going to reset. So Doomsday and Secret Wars are a big part of that. I think a lot of people realize that, but it's worth noting just in case it's not in the back of your mind. This is going to be the culmination of everything Marvel's really done, from the X-Men, Blade, everything, the MCU, Infinity Saga, Multiverse Saga. It's taking it, it's giving us a good ending. That's what it's really doing. A lot of stories are going to end. I'm not saying a lot of characters are going to die and just be recast, although that is the case for some. But the stories that have been built up, with the exception of a few, which we'll talk about, they're coming to an end, right? So going forward in the new MCU, they're going to start new things. The Mutants are obviously one really big story. And the cool thing is they're setting that up right now. If you haven't been paying attention to the Wonder Man TV spots and trailers, the DODC is after superpowered individuals. And in Spider-Man Brand New Day, what we're hearing so far, the reports so far say that Sadie Sink, even if she's not Jean Grey, she's a mutant. And the DODC is after her because she has superpowers, because she is in fact a mutant. They set this up in Miss Marvel as well. The DODC was after Miss Marvel, and they specifically said that she was a mutant, and they played the X-Men theme song as they said she has a mutation. This has been set up for a long time, and now Marvel's going deeper into it because when we get to the next saga, that is the Mutant Saga. And the story there is going to be classic X-Men, humanity versus the X-Men. How do they get along? You know, Magneto's view versus Charles's view, Professor X's view, and the DODC hunting these people down and doing experiments on them behind, you know, in the dark. And that's why the Punisher actually wants to take down the DODC in Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's why he's there. He's protecting Jean, and he also wants to expose them. So that's brilliant. Marvel is using Wonder Man for that. They're using Spider-Man Brand New Day for that because they know there has to be some continuity going into the new reset MCU. So I think it's just brilliant. And then at the same time, the Spider-Man story gets to continue and have continuity as well, because I firmly believe that it ends like Spider-Man 6 with him and MJ finally getting back together or him dying. I want to go for them getting back together. And Kevin Feige has also mentioned he wants Miles in the MCU. And now Sony is playing nice with Marvel, so we've heard. So it just seems like that's going to happen. So he could take on the mantle and Spider-Gwen could join as well. But the most important thing is there's a lot of continuity going into this. And this actually could be why they're not in Avengers Doomsday, because a lot of stories are coming to an end in Avengers Doomsday, kind of going into one, and all just basically becomes about Doom. And then when we go into the new reset MCU, it becomes about a new Avengers team. And when I say that, I mean an actual new Avengers team. Kevin Feige has confirmed they are going to eventually recast Captain America. They are eventually going to recast Iron Man, the Hulk. But also at the same time, we're hearing reports that Marvel does have plans to keep some people around. Like we just recently heard that Marvel Studios reportedly is going to keep Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in the MCU after Secret Wars, but they are still going to add a new Wolverine, basically keeping Hugh Jackman's Wolverine there as Old Man Logan. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Hugh is just hooked right now. I think he's locked in with the MCU. I think Kevin Feige definitely realizes that people love him back as Wolverine, but doing a new X-Men team, they have to have a new Wolverine because they have to do the X-Men stories right. They have to do the Scott, Jean, Wolverine deal, right? Logan, they have to do all that. Probably going to get X-Men First Class, which I really love. But right now we've been hearing a lot of casting rumors, and these rumors are for the X-Men. They are casting the X-Men right now, trying to figure out who Cyclops is. They might have figured out who Jean is. Sadie Sink might be Jean, and she might be transferring over to the new MCU, which again, I think is brilliant. All of this is happening simultaneously as we're getting all of these teasers and all of this marketing for Avengers Doomsday. They haven't even showed Doom yet. And these teasers are racking in literally over 1 billion views. It's not even the first official full teaser trailer. So everything that Marvel's doing right now, make no mistake, it is all going to go towards the next saga, which is going to be the mutant era, as Kevin Feige has deemed it, and it's going to be crazy. So everything Marvel's doing right now is super calculated. If you take a step back and you look at all of the pieces that they're putting together, all the stories that they're telling, it's crazy. Now, Doomsday on its own is going to be amazing. Just having so many characters on screen together in a great story is going to be fantastic. Now, the story does have to be great. I will admit that. It can be a mess if not done right. But I do think the Russo brothers have a really good just clutch on everything that's going to happen. They wouldn't have come back if they didn't. And they have an amazing track record with the MCU. And I've seen people talk online now. Before, they weren't that sold on Doomsday. They weren't that excited. They thought maybe Chris Evans returning is cheap. The X-Men may be cheap. But then they see the X-Men trailer and it looks fantastic. Then they see the Fantastic Four interacting with Wakanda. That looks fantastic. Magneto, Professor X, they're back. Thor is done in a really great way now that you can just tell the Russo brothers understood the assignment with him. And Steve Rogers is returning with a very particular plan that the Russo brothers have for him. So I wanted to make this video because I've seen everybody talking about how excited they are recently for this. And I am too. And I've tried to take a step back and connect a lot of pieces. And everything does seem to be coming together, not in just a way that the Russo brothers are putting it together, but within a larger Marvel plan that makes me really excited for what comes even after Secret Wars. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. It's a great time. If you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much. I think we're about to enter, and it sounds weird to say, but the best time to be a Marvel fan, which sounds weird because we got Infinity War and Endgame and it was just peak. But I think we're getting a new peak here with Doomsday, Secret Wars, and then the Mutant Saga. The next few years are going to be absolutely insane. I can see it all come together. I hope you all can too. And I hope you're all as excited as I am. Again, thank you so much for joining me here on this journey, whether you've just subscribed or you're going to subscribe in this video, or you've been with me for 7-8 years since we started. Thank you all. I look forward to a really great future. I hope you all do too. If you want to follow us elsewhere, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I think I'm missing one, X maybe. And we'd love it if you would join our community here on YouTube as well. We'll catch you on the next one. Woof, woof.